this banana muffin recipe creates the softest and fluffiest muffins. The perfect thing to make when you've browned bananas in your kitchen. Keep them plain or add in walnuts or chocolate chips for even more deliciousness. Welcome to Recipes by Karina, where I share with you how to make classic and simply delicious recipes. Make sure to subscribe or follow my page for a new recipe each week. In a medium-sized mixing bowl, start by peeling the bananas. We want 3 medium-sized bananas or about 1.5 cups of mashed banana. If you'd like the full recipe for these banana muffins, it'll be on my website, as well as the full measurements listed in the description box below. Make sure you're using older brown spotty bananas here, the type that are much too soft to eat on their own. As bananas ripen, the flavour and also sweetness increases, which makes them perfect for baking. Using fresh, harder bananas will leave you with a much less sweet muffin that doesn't really have much of that banana flavour. Using a fork or potato masher, mash the bananas until smooth. You can leave them a little chunky here if you would like proper pieces of banana in your muffins, but I prefer to keep them smooth. These are perfect and so delicious for breakfast in the morning, as a snack, or to enjoy with coffee. If banana muffins aren't really your thing, or you don't have any ripe enough bananas at the moment, I also have the most delicious recipe for blueberry muffins, which I'll have linked below. To the mashed bananas, we want to add the remaining wet ingredients. Start by cracking in 2 medium-sized good quality eggs. Make sure these are at room temperature along with all the other baking ingredients. If you do store your eggs in the fridge, just remove them about an hour or so before you start. Using a whisk, beat the eggs and mashed banana until well combined. To add just a little more sweetness to the muffins, we're going to add in some brown sugar. I always like using brown sugar here instead of granulated white sugar for just that little bit of caramel flavour. If you don't have brown sugar, you can easily substitute with white sugar. Add in half a cup or 100 grams. You'll notice I give the recipe amounts in metric and imperial, cups and grams, so no matter where you live in the world, you should find this recipe easy enough to follow. Lastly, for wet ingredients, we need oil and vanilla essence. I like the texture oil gives these banana muffins, but if you prefer, you can use the same amount of melted butter instead. Pour 1/3 of a cup of a neutral flavourless oil into the mixing bowl, followed by 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence for flavour. Give the wet ingredients a good mix together with a whisk until combined. Set the bowl to the side while we work on the dry ingredients. In a larger mixing bowl, we want to start by measuring out the flour. You'll need 1.5 cups or 190 grams. There's no need to sieve the flour here, just measure it out straight into the mixing bowl. We'll give it a mix soon to make sure there are no lumps. These banana muffins are super light and fluffy, and part of the reason for that is a mix of baking powder and baking soda. Baking powder and baking soda are 2 different ingredients that work in different ways, so make sure you're not substituting one for the other. They produce almost the same result, but one is activated by acid and the other is activated by heat. The baking soda is going to react with the banana in this recipe to produce so much air in the batter, making these muffins almost double in size in the oven. The baking powder is kind of an extra leave-in here, adding to the effect of the baking soda and making the batter lighter and fluffier. Add a teaspoon of each to the mixing bowl. Finally, for the dry ingredients, I like to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. This is optional and you can leave it out if you would like, but the cinnamon adds a real warmth and just more depth of flavour to the muffins. Half a teaspoon of nutmeg or a quarter teaspoon of cloves could be used instead for a slightly different flavour. Add a pinch of salt to the bowl to round out the flavours and give the dry ingredients a mix together with a wooden spoon until well combined. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite is, banana muffins, banana bread or banana cake. I'll usually be making banana bread when my bananas are getting a little spotty and brown, as it's the best toasted for breakfast, but to be honest, they're all delicious. Take your bowl of wet ingredients and pour it into the bowl with the dry ingredients. Using the wooden spoon, fold the banana muffin batter together gently until you can no longer see any dry flour. Be careful not to overmix here so you don't end up with dry, tough muffins. There are all sorts of flavour combinations you can use here. Adding chocolate chips, walnuts or pecans to the batter or keeping it plain and simple. I'm making up a quick crumble topping of flour, brown sugar, butter and walnuts to add to the muffins. This isn't necessary, but I think it adds great flavour and texture. The recipe will be in the description box, as well as my website with the recipe for the muffins. Take a 12 size muffin pan and either grease or line with 12 cupcake liners. Fill each about a half to 2/3 of the way full with batter. I'm using a cookie scoop here, which is just so handy for evenly filling the tin. If you don't have one, you could use a 1/4 cup measurement instead, as it works in just the same way. If you are using the crumble topping, add a small pinch to each of the muffins. It'll brown up in the oven, getting super crunchy and flavourful. Place the muffin tin into a 180°C or 350°F oven for 15 to 20 minutes or until the muffins have risen and are golden brown and spring back when lightly pressed. Cool the muffins for 10 to 15 minutes in the tin before transferring to a wire rack. These make a delicious breakfast, morning tea or just snack anytime. They'll keep fresh for a few days in an airtight container, but like with most baking, it's best the day you make it. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions at all. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.